Being able to show your hands absolutely empty, and then a moment later removing a nail from inside your eye, that's destined to be a classic Halloween experience for a whole bunch of people. So there's sleight of hand ways you can do this, there's gimmick ways, there's a few things. Now I've been playing with this effect because many years ago it occurred to me that, what's one of the last things you want to bring near your eye? And one would be flame for sure. And I played with a bit of that stuff, but it's amazing that you really don't even want it close to your eye. It turns out fire. But a nail, there's a whole bunch of cool ways you can do this. And I use big nails and small nails and all this stuff. Now, if I'm sitting down at a bar or a restaurant, whatever, and there's a table there, I can do some lapping, of course. I can have the nail and pretend to pick it up and drop it in my lap and put it in, and then later on retrieve it, pretend to pull it out, and all this kind of thing. But I wanted to make sure that you guys had some really practical handlings. Now, the other great thing about this doing around the Halloween season is, of course, unlike maybe the middle of the summer where wearing a jacket would be a bit weird, during the fall season, it's a lot more common and easier to wear a jacket or a loose-fitting hoodie or a sweatshirt or sweater or any of these kinds of things. For a lot of this kind of thing, then you can use this first technique. Okay, so I'll be taking my glasses on and off as we do this. If I'm wearing a jacket, I can have a 2-inch nail, okay? And when I want to do the trick, when I want to get ready, I love this technique. I've used it for so many things. All I have to do is take the nail, and I can either do it during a performance or just before I want to share this with somebody, say they're coming to the door to trick or treat or out with friends at a party, whatever. I just have to drop the nail at the top of the sleeve. So the nail now is in my sleeve, but with my bent elbow, the nail stays up there. The nail stays up there. And I can be holding a drink and sipping it. I can stand there for hours, right? Or talking with my friends, whatever. And when I'm ready to do this really cool trick, what I can do is I take off my glasses. I say, look, anything in my hands, they say no. I do this and I lean in and let them see my eye. Now, if you are looking for some serious misdirection, you don't need much here. But opening your eye and leaning in towards people, that's going to do it. But first, make sure they see your hands empty. My right hand falls to my side as soon as I lean in here and open the eye. And as soon as I do that, the moment I drop my hand down, the nail falls secretly into my hand. So I am in this great position right here, having just shown my hands absolutely empty. Now, you could get it into finger palm. You just showed your hand empty. Come up here. And the basic technique is between the thumb and finger, I'm going to grab the head of the nail. Now, sometimes it's going to fall pointed. It doesn't matter. Grab whatever is easiest to grab as the hand comes up. It's in finger palm. Hand comes up. I'm basically feeding the corner, this right to the corner of my eye, and I'm in this position. Okay? Then my fingers are going to work to make it look like I'm pulling it, and this sliding it along the shaft beautifully creates with a wiggle the idea of it actually, especially if at the very end you get this pull of it coming from inside your eye. Now, that's the basic technique. If you're pretty good at sleight of hand, when it falls into your hand here, what you can do is shift it. Just pivot the position of the nail. Again, on the offbeat, everyone's looking at your eye as you do this. And you're gonna palm it in an old cigarette. It's a cigarette palm, okay, technique, basically like this. That's, if you can get that there with practice with one hand while you're leaning in like this, that's going to allow you, and you either can do it with the middle finger or the first finger is also really nice. If you get the first finger or the middle finger, that's going to allow you to bring your hand up and have the fingers spread, which is really going to sell the illusion of it coming from inside your eye. But you're going to do the same technique, okay? You're going to do this, come up here, and then the finger and thumb are going to grab the point of it, okay, and kind of move it in. So I'm in this position now. You got to be careful you don't get the nail in your eye, okay, like this. And now the same thing. You can grab it and just slide it with the thumb and finger now, even more fairly. And boy, that illusion of it coming out of your eye, having just shown your hands undeniably empty, it is a shocking, freakish thing. Maybe some of you want to include a little bit of ketchup packet with a pinhole somewhere in there to get some blood going. I don't know what. Get a little ketchup on your hand, on your finger earlier. Get that blood in there. Okay, so pulling it out is cool. Now, that in itself is a great trick. Boom, you're done. Hand it to somebody, and you have grossed them out and amazed them at the same time, which I love. Also, you can go with a bigger nail. If you want to go big time, you go for a 2 or 3-inch nail and palm that sucker there, have it fall. It'll all fall down the sleeve just fine, okay? How about putting it back in? Some would say that's anticlimactic, but there's a few ways you can put it back in, okay? One way is I use a lighter for pocket management. And one way to do that is to take it and apparently take the nail and put it in your hand, okay? You can do this here like this and apparently take it. All I'm doing here is a false transfer where I take the nail and I pretend to push it in, but I'm actually doing, it's pivoting back. So it looks like I'm pushing it in, okay, here and here, but it's going behind. A little closer here, it's going behind, but so you make sure the large action really sells it, and the nail's here, and then you turn your body a little bit. You don't want to make it too big a gesture, it gets suspicious, but a little bit, boom, like that. And so I'll do this, and I'll say, you want to see something really weird? Oh, but hold on, I've got to make sure the nail is sterile. Got to heat up the nail, make sure it's clean, make sure it's stale, use some heat to make sure it's absolutely sterile. Okay. I can hand that out to them, get it back and say, okay, I want to see something really strange, but wait a second, you just touched this. Let me heat it up a bit to get it sterile. And as I do this and do the false transfer, apparently holding it here, just between the 2 fingers and the thumb like this, okay, I go to my pocket, okay, I leave it behind, come out with a lighter, and now I'm in this position where I'm just sort of, and they think it's a gag. My fingers are empty here like this, show my hand empty, and now I can go, and now I can literally use both hands to kind of put it right back in, show my hands empty. I mean, that's amazing, okay? So that's a strictly organic way, a false transfer. Whatever false transfer works for you or feels right for you, whether it's this, like I said, sort of a cigarette pivot vanish like that, or I guess you could use a variation on a French drop, showing it here and pretend to take it here. Again, either just let your hand fall or go for the light or whatever. And so there's a few ways you could do that. Now, those are the sleight of hand ways of getting it to come out and pushing it back in, showing your hands empty. If you want to incorporate a gimmick way so you can end even cleaner, you don't have to go to the pocket for any kind of pocket management, of course a great way to go is to take, and you'll find is to get a length of black elastic, okay? And I've taken the nail, let me show you this, and I've taken a strip of tape, and this silver duct tape, but it could be any tape. What I've done is I've tied a knot in the very end. There we go. In fact, I'm going to hold up this white here. This should give you a nice contrast here. There you go. Tied a knot in the very end of the elastic. Then I wrapped a piece of tape between the knot and the head of this. And so what that means is that I've got this and the elastic's firmly attached to the bottom. The elastic is on a safety pin clipped up inside my jacket. And this I put down my sleeve. Okay? Now, if you work out the length of it just right, okay, what you can do is just reach up and grab it. Mine's a little short. Yeah, it's just short by an inch. But basically, I'm just up in there and I'm able to grab it and pull it down, okay? So that action I can be doing magic tricks, hanging out with my friends, and on the offbeat, very easy for me. Just reach up in there on the offbeat, not during a trick, okay? Grab that and get it down to the right hand. Just let it go. It flew up there. There we go. Get it down to the right hand, and I can have it in very much the same finger palm, okay? I can have it in the same finger palm, or you can be more casual if you don't want to be too precise. But what this means now, what I can do, I can take off my glasses, okay? Take off my glasses, I can lean in, and then I can come up and pretend to pull it out of my eye. The same technique, you can palm it, this palm or whatever, exact same technique of pretending to pull it out of the eye. But if you watch your angles, you can pull it out of the eye, okay, and still show it really fairly, and the elastic is hidden, which means, of course, having just pulled it out of the eye, okay, now I can say, if you think that's gross, what's really gross, and as I lean in like this, I lower my hand, they just see that at my fingertips. Say, if you think that's gross, watch, I can actually take it and put it back into the eye. And all I did, of course, is I leaned in again on the offbeat, I let go of the nail, it went up the sleeve, I can do this, like that, okay? And you can even, if you really, I mean, depending if you got a jacket or anything, you can even hike up your sleeve. I love doing this, okay? Where you can hike up your sleeves here just after that and say, just in case you don't trust me, there you go. And of course, it's way up your sleeve. So what a great thing to do at Halloween. How perfect is that? How shocking, how gross, how magical.